Hi, I'm Dr. Amit. If you are watching this, you are probably exhausted. You've likely read every blog, bought every gadget, and you are still tired. Yes. I am a GP with subspecialty in pediatrics, and I am here to tell you it is not your fault. Baby sleep is biologically complex, and most advice online is conflicting. That is why I have compiled my complete sleep curriculum into this masterclass. We are going to move away from old wives' tales and look at the actual medical science. In this first half of the course, we are going back to basics. First, we will uncover why your baby actually needs sleep. It's about brain construction, not just rest. Then, we will decode the 45-minute intruder. I'll explain the biology of sleep cycles and why your baby wakes up so often compared to adults. We will then build the perfect bedtime routine to trigger their natural melatonin, and I'll walk you through the 3 biggest sleep problems parents face. Finally, we will have an honest, judgment-free conversation about sleep training. Is it safe? Does it damage attachment? We will look at the evidence. My goal is simple: to get you from survival mode to thriving, to help you understand your baby's needs so you can both get the rest you deserve. So grab a coffee, find a comfortable spot, and let's start with the most important question. Why does sleep matter in the first place? Let's dive into lesson 1 and get you and your baby the well-deserved sleep you deserve. Welcome to the series on your child's sleep. In this first chapter, we'll unpack why sleep matters more than most parents realize. Sleep isn't just rest, it's active work for a growing body and brain. While children sleep, amazing things are happening inside. Think of sleep like overnight construction. Their brain is busy filing memories, wiring new skills, and cleaning up unused connections. Research shows children who get enough sleep learn faster, focus better, and manage their emotions more easily. During deep sleep, growth hormones surge. This is when bones lengthen, muscles repair, and tissues rebuild. It's literally when your child grows stronger. You can thank bedtime for taller mornings. Sleep also boosts the immune system. A well-rested body produces more infection-fighting cells. That's why children who sleep well tend to catch fewer colds and bounce back faster when they do get ill. Now, let's talk numbers. How much sleep do children actually need? Newborns usually need between 14 and 17 hours a day, mostly in short bursts. Infants between 4 and 12 months need 12 to 16 hours, including naps. That's still a lot. While toddlers do best with 11 to 14 hours of sleep, and preschoolers 10 to 13 hours. And finally, school-aged children still need around 9 to 12 hours, even if they think they're too grown up for it. Now, what happens when they don't get enough sleep, you may ask? Well, I get cranky, but tired children pick and look hyper rather than sleepy. You might see racing around, tantrums, or sudden meltdowns. Poor sleep also affects attention and memory, making it harder to learn at nursery or school. Over time, chronic sleep loss can impact mood, appetite, and even the immune response. So, sleep isn't a luxury, it's a foundation for growth, health, and happiness. In the next chapter, we'll explore what happens inside your baby's sleep cycles and why they wake so often. But for now, remember, every good night's sleep is helping your child's brain, body, and mood thrive.
So we now know that sleep builds the brain, releases growth hormones, and even boosts their immune system. But knowing why they need sleep is very different from understanding how they actually sleep. If your baby wakes up every hour, it's not bad behavior. It is biology. It's about how their cycles are wired. Let's look at the mechanics of the infant sleep cycle.
In this chapter, we'll peek inside what actually happens while your baby sleeps and why they seem to wake up so often. Baby sleep works differently from adults. Their cycles are much shorter, and that's the secret behind all those night wakings. Deep sleep cycle has stages: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM, which is the dream stage. A newborn's entire cycle can be as short as 40 to 50 minutes compared with our 90 minutes. That means babies drift in and out of light sleep more often, making them sensitive to noise, hunger, and temperature. In light sleep, you might notice fluttering eyelids, tiny smiles, or sudden jerks. That's perfectly normal. During deep sleep, the body repairs and grows, heart rate slows, breathing steadies, and muscles fully relax. REM sleep is the busy brain stage. That's when babies dream and their brains process new experiences. At the end of each cycle, babies naturally stir or wake before drifting into the next one. If everything feels safe and familiar, same cot, same sounds, they often resettle on their own. And that's why bedtime routines are so powerful. They teach the brain what to expect at every sleep cycle. As babies grow, their cycles stretch out. By around 6 months, sleep begins to look more like ours. But even older babies can rake briefly between cycles. It's how humans are wired for safety. You may notice them crying out for reassurance or comfort, not necessarily because they're hungry. Helping your baby link their sleep cycles is a skill, one that develops gradually with practice and consistency. If you rock or feed to sleep every time, they'll expect the same when they stir again. But if you give them a moment to resettle, they start learning to drift back off independently. Don't worry, some nights will go smoothly, others not so much. It's their way of keeping us on our toes. That is why understanding sleep cycles helps you work with your baby's rhythm instead of against it. Next, we'll explore how to build healthy bedtime routines that support those cycles and everyone's sanity. Now you understand the 45-minute cycle. It explains the catnapping and the frequent night waking. But the secret to linking those cycles often starts before they even close their eyes. We need to set the biological stage. We need to trigger their internal release of melatonin. So let's build the perfect bedtime routine to make that happen.
All right, parents, deep breath. We're talking about bedtime routines. Yes, the mysterious ritual that either brings peace or tears, sometimes both. A solid routine is like your baby's bedtime GPS. It tells their brain, hey, it's time to power down, instead of party time. Most babies don't just fall asleep because you tell them to. Wouldn't that be nice? They need a predictable pattern first. Think bath, book, cuddle, bed. Keep it simple. Keep it boring. Babies love boring. It's their favorite vibe. The bath part isn't just about getting them clean after that spaghetti incident. It actually helps lower body temperature, which makes falling asleep easier. Then story time, and yes, even if they're chewing the book, it's about rhythm, your voice, and connection. When you cuddle before bed, you're literally helping their body release oxytocin, the hormone that says, I'm safe now.
And lastly, the grand finale. Into the cot while they're drowsy but awake. Yes, the holy grail phrase every parent's heard 500 times.
Now let's talk environment, because even the best routine can't compete with a disco-light nursery. Dark room, white noise, comfy temperature, basically the opposite of Las Vegas. Blackout curtains are your best friend. Babies have no clue what time it is, so we can trick them into thinking it's midnight.
Safety check time. Firm mattress, no pillows, no toys. Sorry, Mr. Fluffy Bear. You'll have to sleep outside the cot. Room too hot or too cold? Aim for that sweet spot around 20 degrees. Basically the temperature where adults argue about the thermostat.
And now, naps. The daytime plot twist no one warns you about.
A good nap schedule keeps nighttime sleep on track. Overtired babies don't crash, they rage, party instead. While undertired babies, also tricky, they'll look innocent, then give you that 3 a.m. surprise encore. Every baby's rhythm is a little different, so experiment. Just don't keep them up hoping they'll sleep longer. Spoiler, they won't. And remember, if naps go wild, car naps, sofa naps, 2-minute power naps, don't panic. It's not a failure, it's Tuesday.
The secret sauce is consistency. You don't need perfection, just a predictable rhythm so their little bodies know what's next.
So, bath, book, cuddle, bed. Same order, same calm. Less chaos, more sleep. For them, and let's be honest, for you.
Now we have the routine. Perfect. And we also understand the cycles, but they are still waking up at 3 a.m. or refusing to nap. I know it's frustrating, but take a deep breath. You aren't failing. This happens to almost everyone. It usually comes down to 3 specific roadblocks that catch parents off guard. Let's look into and solve the big 3 sleep problems right now. Alright parents, grab your coffee. We're diving into the tough stuff. Night wakings, short naps, early mornings, and everything in between. Let's start with the big one, night waking. Because babies don't read the memo that nights are for sleeping. Here's the truth. Almost all babies wake between sleep cycles. Some just yell about it more dramatically than others. They're not plotting against you, I promise. It's biology. Light sleep between cycles. Just checking you're still there. If your baby wakes every 90 minutes, congrats, they're human. The goal isn't 0 wakes, it's helping them settle faster each time. You can gently teach them self-soothing, for example. Doing this few seconds before rushing in can make a huge difference. And if you do go in, keep it boring. No disco lights, no TED Talks, just a quiet pat on the back and leave. Now, short naps, yes, the famous 20-minute special. You've barely sat down before it's over. It's usually because babies can't link sleep cycles yet, same reason for night wakings. Their body's still learning the rhythm. I recommend trying consistent nap routines. Same place, same sounds, same timing. Predictability beats fancy sleep gadgets every time. And please don't stress over one bad nap day. You're raising a baby, not running an Olympic sleep program. Now let's talk about the early risers, those 5 a.m. sun worshippers. Adorable, but also, why? Early waking usually means bedtime's too early, too late, or the room's too bright. Basically, sleep's Goldilocks problem. I would advise trying blackout blinds and white noise. Trick them into thinking sunrise is cancelled. And if you're up anyway, at least make the coffee strong and the expectations low. Last but not least, everyone's favorite, regressions. Those random sleep disasters that hit just when you thought you'd nailed it. These pieces of blessings happen during big leaps, such as teething, crawling, walking, talking, basically any new superpower. The good news? Regressions pass. The bad news? They'll be back, but shorter and easier each time. So remember, when sleep falls apart, go back to basics. Calm bedtime, consistent maps, and a pinch of patience. And next time you're up at 3 a.m., just remember, you're not alone. Every parent's been on the night shift. You've got this. We've covered the basics. Now, we need to talk about the topic that causes the most guilt online. Sleep training. You've probably heard horror stories or conflicting advice that scares you. Is it safe? Is it cruel? Does it actually work? We need to look at the medical facts. So let's dive into it so you can make the right decision for your child and your family. So, you've rocked, sung, whispered deals at 2 a.m. and your baby's still wide-eyed. Let's talk sleep training and what actually helps. Here's the thing. Every family does sleep differently. Cot, co-sleep, rocking chair, it's different for everyone. So let's begin with the gentle stuff, the no-cry approach. It's about calm routines and responding before the meltdown begins. As before, that book, Cuddle, Bed, every night, same order, same calm. Babies love boring. It tells their brain, sleep time, not party time. The no-cry method works, but slowly. Think gentle marathon, towered by tea, not overnight miracle. Consistency beats speed. Next up, controlled comforting, or Ferber. You check in after short gaps, offer quick reassurance, then step back out. Yes, there'll be cheers, sometimes theirs, sometimes yours, but you're still there, showing them they can drift off safely. If you prefer slower change, try gradual retreat. Sit near the cot tonight, halfway tomorrow, do a win next week. You'll start to notice tiny wins, longer stretches, fewer cries, a bit of your evening back. Celebrate those. Some families co-sleep, some don't. The best method? The one that helps everyone wake up smiling, not arguing. But if you co-sleep, keep it safe. Firm mattress, no loose pillows, no gaps. Close enough to comfort, far enough to breathe. And hey, if you nod off feeding at 3 a.m., you're human. Safer flat bed beats the sofa any night. So which method is the best? Well, research shows nearly all methods work, as long as you're consistent and responsive. Studies confirm sleep training doesn't damage attachment. Love and boundaries can share the same bedtime. So honestly, the right approach is the one that gets your coffee before it goes cold. And remember, some babies learn in days, others in weeks. Progress isn't linear, but it is real. Keep the faith. There's no medal for fastest sleeper. Do what fits your baby and your sanity. Every journey is unique. In the end, it's not just about sleep, it's about peace. A rested baby, rested parents, and brighter mornings ahead. Well done on finishing part 1 of this sleep course. So far, we've covered the biology, the routine, and the training methods. But what happens when they get older? In part 2, we are going to tackle night weaning, the dreaded sleep regressions, and toddler sleep. If you found this helpful, please make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss other videos. And check the description for a summary of the safe sleep guidelines we discussed. And remember, you are doing a great job. Tired parents are still good parents, as we all find out sooner or later. If you would like to move on to the next part of this course, click up here. See you soon.